What comes to your mind when you hear the word nomad? Well, when we were in social studies in our schools, we've been taught that nomads are hunter-gatherers, people who don't actually have a home and they travel around. Well, today we are going to be reviewing Nomadland. I'm Manushree.
I'm Nawina.
And today that is the movie we're going to be reviewing.
You are one of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
So Nomadland was directed by Chloé Zhao, and it stars Frances McDormand. This movie is about a 60-year-old, a woman in her 60s who has just lost everything. She's lost her husband, he's just passed away, she's lost her home, and so she depends on her van, which is really her only life partner, to travel around, and therefore calls that van her home. And Nawina can speak about one of the best lines in the movie.
Right, so someone she knows in a shop comes and asks her, "Are you homeless?" And she says, "I'm not homeless, I'm just houseless."
My mom says that you're homeless. Is that true?
No, I'm not homeless. I'm just houseless.
And so it makes us wonder, what does home really mean? Like, is home really a materialistic home, like a house? Or is it just a feeling of being, you know, at home, a feeling of being comfortable, of being content, you know? So that's what this entire movie is challenging. What is home? What is a house? So that is, I think, one of the best lines in the entire movie, you know, the fact that someone could be houseless but not homeless. They're still in their home. And for the woman whose name is Fern in the movie, by the way, for Fern, her home is her van.
So the plot of the movie is not really clear. It doesn't have a clear problem and solution, but it's more like a woman's life going after a tragedy happens to her. And basically all these people who live in vans, they all like gather sometimes, and most of them are there because they had a tragedy that happened in their lives and they're living after, and what that's like.
Yeah, and it tends to be mostly really elder people, like those who have retired and everything. Some of them speak about how like they have worked their entire life and have gotten so much money for their own lives, for their children's lives, for their spouses' lives, but then here they are now retired, just like, you know, in a van. And so it speaks about how pathetic the situation can be, but also how, you know, it's just a new situation, a new type of experience. And van living isn't, I mean, it is becoming bigger, but it is not that common. I mean, we haven't really known many people who live in vans, and usually when I hear someone lives in a van, I automatically would think they're homeless, but this is becoming a new type of living. And this movie was actually shot before the pandemic started, and so this was like during the time when like a lot of people were like, you know, I need to get out of my house, I just got to be in my van, I have to just go you know, drive across the country. That's my type of enjoyment. So a lot of people had that idea, and then, you know, after this movie released, the van living business here in America was like, you know, booming. It was really good marketing for them, and you know, I think that's a new way of living. And so they're calling it a modern day kind of nomad, which we've never heard before. And so I didn't even know it was a thing. And so I thought that was really cool. But you know, as Nawina said, the story is just about like this woman's life progressing on and on and on.
I went online to look at my Social Security benefit. It said $550. I had worked my whole life. I'd worked since I was 12 years old.
The music in the movie was like a piano theme that just came throughout the movie, and it wasn't very often that you'd hear the music, but it was very, you know, scarce. And so it was mostly piano notes that were like minor and sad sounding.
Sound effects, like the tires on the road.
Yeah. There was a lot of like natural sounds that would serve as music, and also there was violin at some points, but not very many. So it was very minimalistic. Yeah.
And as for cinematography, it was just, you know, the feeling of moving. Like since, you know, she's always on the road, you had some incredible aerial shots of like roads winding down. Some shots where like she'd be in like more colder areas, such as, I remember where exactly, but like colder areas in the United States full of snow and everything, and then we go to Arizona where it's like hot and just stretching vast desert. So I thought that was very, you know, that was a really nice artsy way to communicate what's actually happening and everything. There's also lots of really nice silhouette shots, and you know, I thought that was very, again, a very nice artsy way to communicate everything. And it also like sets the tone of the movie. Something they've done is they've filmed the movie mostly in like this like at the beginning they film it in like almost like a cool, like a blue light almost, not like blue light, but like, you know, a colder type of light to show climate, and then when it becomes warmer, they film it in like a more like warmer tones. So that's really cool, like what they did, because you know, I mean, when you're filming a movie with like different types of climates, when the light you try to film it in really reflects on how the climate actually is. So yeah, and I mean, those are just like the physical parts of the movie. We have some incredible acting. Like the main character, she acted really well. On her face the entire time of the movie, like, you know, even when she was smiling, you could see just a hint of sadness in her eyes, and that's really difficult to do as an actor. So I mean, I think she did really well, and she had genuine tears, genuine laughing, like, you know, as if she was not really a person acting someone else's life, but actually living in that role.
I maybe spent too much of my life just remembering that. You know what I mean?
So she did incredible, and that's why this movie has won so many awards. And Nawina can talk about like a lot of the really memorable characters.
So wait, what was his name? Dave? His name was Dave?
Dave.
Yeah, so there's this guy named Dave, and he had a son. And they had a whole story. It's not very much, but they were friends, and then he decides to live in a house from then on. There's also another character. He was the person who started the van,
like Bill
business
something?
idea.
I think
yeah.
Bill.
So
yeah,
apparently
so
his son had lost his life, and he felt sad, and he was like, why should I live if he's not living? But then he realized if he's helping these people live in vans, then he has a reason to live, and he's honoring his son.
No, and he has this beautiful outlook on life where when people like die, he's more like it's not like they're gone, it's I'll see you down the road. And that's what he says. Like even when one of our most beloved characters, when she passes away, he's just like, I'll see you down the road. And you know, I was definitely like, why are you downplaying like death as such a, you know, why are you downplaying it? Why are you desensitizing death? But he wasn't. I just think it's a beautiful way of looking at life, you know. And for someone of his age, where it's so close to him, you know, he's just become so optimistic about it. And I thought that was a really beautiful thing communicated in the movie.
Today would be his 33rd birthday, and 5 years ago he took his life. How can I be alive on this earth when he's not? And I didn't have an answer. I could honor him by helping people and serving people. There's no final goodbye. You know, I've met hundreds of people out here, and I don't ever say a final goodbye. I always just say, I'll see you down the road. And I do. And whether it's a month or a year or sometimes years, I see them again.
So this movie has won a lot of awards. Just a few, like if you Google this and like search up the awards it's won, there's so many of them. There's just a long list of them. So from what I can remember, it won the BAFTA Academy Award, and it won like Academy Awards, BAFTA Awards, you know. So, and I mean, it's not like that's for nothing. I mean, they actually did win these awards, because if you watch the movie, you can see how well done it is. So yeah.
We rate this movie a 10 out of 10. It was kind of like an Iranian movie, because it was a slow story and it didn't have a definite plot.
Like a slow burn kind of story. But we definitely recommend you watch it. Thank you to Chloé and Uncle for recommending this to us, because he's a wonderful director friend we have, and you know, he's been recommending a lot of great movies to us, and this was one of them. So we really loved it. Yeah, and we hope you guys watch it as well.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to watch our other movie reviews. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Let me laugh. Jesus. Oh my gosh.